the feel of gaming as a whole, because there's a lot of discussion going on right now where people are talking about like the feel of gaming and how it like games have felt like they've lost their touch, you know. I feel like in the modern era of gaming, you know, that there's definitely a loss of what games kind of used to be, because back in the day, back in like, I'm talking like Call of Duty Black Ops 1, Call of Duty not Call of Duty, but Halo Reach, and Minecraft, I would say, like back in between, I'd say 2009 to 2014, 15, you could even say, games definitely felt different. There was a lot more story-based games as well, and games were based on more casual gaming back then. Now it's more like the feel is more, if you're not playing this game consistently all the time and putting your time and effort into this one game, you're gonna get behind, you're gonna lose out, you're gonna fall behind, and you're not gonna have fun because you're just like wasting your time. And I feel like games never used to be like that. The games used to always be like problem solving, first of all, story driven, and casual fun. I feel like those all make great games, which is why I feel like indie games like Lethal Company, ever since that came out, there's been like the renaissance of like friend slop games. And friend slop games are great because they give you the feel of like that old 2009 to 2014 feel when you just get home and you hang out with your friends and you play a game that's chill and fun. Outside of friend slop games, what AA to AAA games, or like games that come out that don't get sweaty after a while? We had Marvel Rivals, a game where the community came out and was like, this is for the casuals, this is the casual game. And that did not last very long. That lasted only like a couple months at best. We're now heading into Marvel Rivals' first year anniversary of being released, and they're changing a lot. They're adding placement matches, they're adding like all these sorts of things that like Overwatch did as it like progressed and got more of like a sweaty competitive type game. Because as games age, let's be honest, the casual players are going to move on to different games, and then the hardcore players are just going to stay, and then their skill gets better, and then it like eventually a casual player will come back 5 years later to see if they can still play a game that they once had liked, and they can't even enjoy it. I feel like I get that effect a lot with Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is an air quote not competitive game, but it's been out for almost 10 years, or it has been out for 10 years next year. And same with Overwatch, 10 years next year. But it's just one of those games where I can't really play anymore because of like how competitive it's been. And that's the problem. Like, I feel like the problem is like games live too long. Not to say that I want games to die, but I feel like their cycles live a lot longer than they used to, you know? Like Halo Reach, the lifespan of that game was like 3 to 4 years before the like enormous amount of players dropped off, you know? Same with Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2. I feel those games were really popular when they came out, and then they heavily dropped like a few years later, and that's because there's just games coming out, different games to play. Nowadays it feels like we get maybe like 3 big releases a year, and even then it feels empty. What games did we have that came out this year that were like really great to play that aren't indie games? I'm talking AAA games. We had Battlefield 6, which was really fun. We had Monster Hunter Wilds, which, caveat, had a lot of problems to it. We had, I guess you could say, Expedition 33 was good as well. And now I'm kind of stumped. I know there's more, But now I can't think of. Indie games is really where the heavy lifting and gamer quality and gamer time has been spent. We had like what, Silk Song that came out this year. Is Dispatch considered an indie game? No, I don't think it is. I think it's more like a AA kind of game. But that was a good game too. Repo, Headliners, RV There Yet, Peak, especially Peak was massive. We had Water Park Simulator that came out. There was just a lot, like a lot more of these indie. Is a AA, like Claire. Okay, perfect. It is a AA. Okay, so yeah, it's just like, and I feel like indie games have been capturing that feel, which is why I think indie games and air quote friend swap games are doing like the best. I think the era of like AAA games is definitely dying, like for sure. I don't know, like especially with the campaign in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 that recently was dropped. Like I don't know how people are like, I'm excited for that. Let's see. Damn. I don't know. Like they were fighting a literal giant in the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 heckin' trailer. And to me, that's just crazy. That's a little wild. Like, what is happening in that story? It makes you think, but not that much. It's like, this is kind of cringe. Call of Duty was like World War I, World War II. It started out, then it moved on to modern era, and now it's like, it's stuck doing this futuristic stuff that like a lot of people have said that they do not like, but they still go there because the movement and like, I think it's more of the competitive players that keep Call of Duty alive, because I feel like that's why people still go to Call of Duty ? I'm not sure. I haven't played a Call of Duty game since Black Ops 3, to be fair. So yeah, I wouldn't take my word on any of that super seriously, but it's just a general like the outside looking in kind of perspective. And hero shooters are no different. I mean, Marvel Rivals was championed, and I've already said this, as the casual player game, and all the casuals have more or less started to phase out to play different games like Arc Raiders. Everybody's been game hopping and game hopping and game hopping, and for what? Like I don't even know anymore. Like, what's that one MOBA game that Valve dropped that's like Overwatch, but also like League of Legends? I can't remember what it was called, but like I've seen a little bit of gameplay on that recently, and even that game, I think I remember playing it when it first dropped. That game got so sweaty so quick. It was crazy. It's because people are always trying to min-max everything. Min-max abilities, min-max technique, min-max like movement. Like, and back in the heyday, there was none of that. That was just like, you get up, you play the game, you're not trying to figure it out, but you are trying to do good in the leaderboard. Which is why I feel like Battlefront 2, even though it was a major flop, still holds a strong spot in a lot of like gamers' hearts, I feel like. Like, especially the classic Battlefront 2. Like, because that's just a literal casual massive like PvP game, and there's not really been a game that's ever captured the same kind of feel, except maybe Battlefield 6. Maybe, I say maybe. They don't have like the big, like the massive players that Battlefront 2 did. Like, it's not like 50 versus 50, but it is pretty close. It's like 24-24. It's like you get the feel of like it's a big battle, you know? Yeah. Imagine playing a game and for having fun and not maxing the hell out of it. Yeah, that's just what it is. I mean, like, that's just kind of how it is now. Like, people want to be the best. People want to be like this, and a lot of people aren't having fun with games anymore because if they're not feeling like they're the best, then they're not like enjoying the game, you know? And that's like, and that's kind of like one of my major, like the major flaws of gaming right now. Is just like, if you're not if you're not winning every game, you're not having fun. And I've fallen victim for this too, especially in Overwatch, a game that I've been playing a long time. Like sometimes I do get that feeling like if I'm not winning every game, then I'm not having fun, you know? And you gotta, and I feel like as the gaming community as a whole, we have to start breaking away from the thought of if you're not winning, you're not having fun. I know that's very hypocritical of me to say, but I'm trying to work on that because I feel like enjoyment of what we love is more important than winning everything. You know? Because like in the past, like Fortnite is an excellent example of this, by the way. If you want to see how fast and how crazy the competitiveness of gamers got, look at the history of Fortnite. Back when it first came out, the biggest tech was just building up to the sky and walking on the sky. Look at modern build techs now. Nobody in the right mind that can just dead play Fortnite every day of every second can keep up in that kind of competitive atmosphere. And that's why zero builds is so much more successful, because everybody in zero build is honestly, I would say, a casual just enjoyer of games that doesn't want to deal with like the mid-maxing of like building mechanics and stuff. And it took only like two years for Fortnite to get not as bad as it is now, but it took it like to where we started to seeing like cranking 90s and like these build structures that instantly pop up that are like giant skyscrapers. So it just took basically 2 years before those were popping up. And you got the early signs of them coming out like at the end of 2018, 2019. Like it was wild. It was really wild. It was lawless. But yeah, is there a cure to gamer like fatigue and how competitive games are? I think I know this is gonna sound depressing, but I think it might be too late. I think it might be a little bit too late for the recovery of like just casual gaming as a whole. I think friend swap games are really gonna, like, if you want like the friend casual sit on a couch experience, you're just gonna get that with friend swap games. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that gives me hope that there is still a market for casual games. But even in friend swap games, there's mid-maxing in those games too, which is kind of funny. Like, it's, you know, sometimes games are just meant to be played and enjoyed, and sometimes they're not. And I feel like there's a realm for both, but I feel like people need to start taking more breaks from the competitive type games, because it is why we're seeing so many like an uphill and the rise of like more toxic behavior and drama in games and stuff, is because of how, I would say, how competitive and people take the games too seriously. Like when I think of that, I think of like the drama earlier this year with Marvel Rivals, where people were like saying or putting up roles against each other, and people were getting really mad and upset about their role being attacked and saying this role isn't skillful, this role isn't skillful, this, and I've done that too. It's not right. It's not right, because every role is valid. They all have their own part in like helping the team. Some roles are definitely harder than others, but that doesn't mean that the value is less or more, you know? So it just kind of depends. And that's really what I wanted to talk about. And now this is coming to the close, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream on this last thing. I really want you guys to think about this, but 5 years from now, what games do you think you're gonna be playing? Do you think you're gonna be playing the same games that you have always been playing? I could guarantee and kind of say that I've been playing Overwatch for almost since it came out, and it's almost been 10 years. And there hasn't really been a game besides Marvel Rivals or that has really captured my like competitive spirit in a game like this. And it's just like what can change? Like games like Evolve. If you remember Evolve, I missed that game so much. It was one of my favorite games as a kid. Was it bad for the industry at the time with all the microtransactions and stuff? Yes, but I would argue if it came out like this year in modern times, it wouldn't be a big deal, and it would actually be praised for having cheap cosmetics and stuff. But because I remember their cosmetics only being like $1 to $5 for like packs of cosmetics, and now in this era it's like $40 to $50 for the color blue and pink. Don't even get me started on pink and gold. That's like $70 right there. Okay, we're not gonna talk about that though, but yeah, like where do you guys think you're gonna be playing games in the next 5 years? What kind of games are gonna capture your eyes? GTA 6? Sorry buddy, that's gonna get delayed for eternity. It's been delayed. What? It was supposed to come out allegedly. It was supposed to come out this year at the start of this year, then got pushed back to 2026 early, and now late 2026. Sorry, that game's not coming out. Like I don't know. And would a GTA game be successful in the modern era? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I'd like to say yes. I have no idea. All right, but yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I just wanted to like ramble some of my thoughts about like how gaming has been, because it's been a discussion going around against, like, not against, but with other streamers and stuff, because there's like game burnout and streamer burnout kind of go hand in hand. So I think it's just kind of interesting to talk about these kind of like discussions, because it's like, hey, that stuff also affects me, and I'm like, not only am I interested in it, it's like, yeah, I do get those kind of feelings too. Like, I do get tired of playing the same games over and over again, you know? And I feel like a lot of people do eventually. But yeah. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. We're gonna go ahead and raid... We're gonna go ahead and raid Soulstone, because we haven't raided Soulstone in forever. And Soul is beautiful. He's playing Marvel Rivals. So... if you like Marvel Rivals, speaking of Marvel Rivals, definitely check out Soulstone or Ben. He's brilliant. He's lovely. He's a robot, so you'll definitely like him. But yeah. Thank you, Toxic Touch. You have a fantastic night as well. And YouTube, thank you guys for watching. If you liked watching, make sure you hit up a like and subscribe. Do people do that still? Do people actually do that still? I don't think they do. I think there's just a little notification in the bottom of the video saying bloop, subscribe.